on a Tuesday. Hope the Tuesday's off to a great start. You walk in and just nail it. Elijah just walks in, nails the song, as we'll be talking hoops, as Nebraska looks to be the only team to go out on the West Coast and sweep out there. We'll talk about that coming up. Nebraska UCLA tonight, late night, 10 o'clock. We'll have Brian Monson, HuskerLine.com. Robin Washington is in the air, so we will not have him today. We'll talk a little Husker baseball as well. Good morning, Flood X10. Big hoop show today. And I'm not even going to start with Nebraska hoops. We're not starting with Nebraska hoops, folks.
I am so glad you're not.
I had it, and I'm sorry. I rolled in this morning. I saw all the stuff last night. We are going to start with high school hoops.
Wild night.
Talking about getting your madness off to a March Madness start. Woo, baby. I kept up with a lot of it. Yes, I was watching hoops last night a little bit. But we will get to Nebraska hoops. We will get to the new rankings. We will get to bracketology, all that. But what a night in Nebraska high school hoops. Upsets galore. Teams getting away. Teams that on paper you didn't see them making it to PBA or Devaney, wherever they'll be scheduled at. I don't know where to start. I know you know where here's where we'll start. We had a game right here on KFOR last night.
Yeah, we did.
North Star, like been at the up towards the top of the rankings all year long. They get upset in a 48-46 final, I believe.
Yeah, I can grab some highlights.
Let's do it because Moti was on the call, right? Moti was on that call.
Yeah,
you had that going on. There's probably, North Star losing, unfortunately. The Lincoln team bows out. A team that you talked about because you were the first one to bring this team to everyone's living room. Lincoln High. What a big time upset last night in that one.
It was I got to think about this. Who was it? It was last night. Brady Nick. 29 of Lincoln High 62.
My goodness, big time performance when it counted.
That's a hooper.
How about Pius goes to Wahoo?
It's a 15-point win on the road?
15-point win on the road. Nobody saw that because there's a lot of things in life that are guaranteed. And a lot of it's Wahoo basketball in Wahoo. Pius goes out there. They get it done. They advance.
They're, 10-16?
10-16. One very young, one senior in that team. Charlie Morrow.
Yeah.
One senior.
And it sounds like he's had a fantastic run through the districts.
Yes.
But to add to that, a couple of young big men, including Jake Markowski, Andy's son.
Yep.
Who they kind of need to settle into their own. But you saw that there was future potential for that team. Mm-hmm. I didn't see him making state. So congrats to them. But you saw that they had the potential. If they put it all together, you thought there's a chance.
There's a chance. They did it. The magic happened last night. Also, late still, Miller North last night, up in Southeast last night.
This was crazy.
Insane.
Crazy. Southeast has the lead and the ball, about 30 seconds left. I think there's about a 7-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Southeast ends up turning it over on that possession. So if you could have run the shot clock all the way down, you would have given Miller North 7 seconds down by 3. Instead, they turn it over. Miller North in the offensive end gets themselves to the free throw line. They convert 2 with like 12 seconds left. Southeast advances it into the front court. Again, now up by 1. They call timeout. The inbounds play gets stolen away.
You could see it. It's all over the web.
Miller North takes it end to end, lays it home, and the Southeast heave at the buzzer, way off. Miller North protects the home floor miraculously.
Unfortunately, you had Lincoln teams bow out. But, man, you got the madness. And that was one night. That is just one night. You're pulling some clips probably from Moti's call last night. But it is March. That was March 2nd. We're just a day old in the March, 2 days old in the March. And look what's happening around the city, around the state. More to come. What's wild enough, if that gives you a peek under the tent of what the next 2 weeks will be like at Devaney, at Pinnacle Bank Arena, you're in for a treat. and I'm sure you guys called him last night. Mochi called it last night. Probably was not ready for that treat to happen. I don't call it a treat, but that type of game, all those games, and I know there's a lot more, but those 4 really stuck out.
Mm-hmm. Well, can I take you through some highlights because we didn't talk about the North Star game.
Please,
you heard about this last night on KFOR. It was close to the first half. North Star took a 1-point lead into the second half, and then second half, North Star goes on a run. Jordan Castor gives North Star their largest lead of the game about midway through the third with a 3-pointer. Makes it a 10-point lead for the North Star Navigators.
Castor, step back, 3 on the way from him. Good.
Bam, and here's the run, Jeff, that we were talking about.
But
up 10.
But
on your home floor.
With North Star, Castor was dealing with some cramping issues. They go cold offensively, and here comes Papio storming all the way back. Vignes takes it all the way in.
Vignes down the boulevard, goes up with a reverse up and in.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
So I think that
I love the energy.
I cut it to 3, and then did that tie it? Maybe that tied it. I don't have the highlight.
I don't know who was that with Moats. Are you kidding?
John Harris.
Yes. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
North Star takes the lead back.
Schaefer, 3 on the way from him. Off the iron, no good. Tipped in the hands of Gatwich from Fowler, and Gatwich gets it to go underneath.
And then I haven't previewed this one. This is the coast-to-coast tie game. About 15 seconds left. Papio goes to the other end and wins it.
No time left on the shot clock. We're down to 17. Boudreau to the basket, goes up and in.
Oh, Jeff.
Final chance for North Star.
Gatwich, kick out. Schaefer, 3 on the way, in and out, no good. Rebound, it goes to Papillion La Vista with 1/10 of a second left.
Boy, you had a look.
I mean, wow.
I
crazy. I got goosebumps. Just listen to calls.
Well, and then what's crazy is North Star is sitting around there after the game. They still have a chance of making the state tournament if the wild card falls their way. First thing that they need Millard North to pull off a miraculous comeback with 30 seconds left to go beat Southeast.
Check mark.
As we're finishing our post-game show, Motzi and John are sitting there at the arena, and there's some North Star students down still on the floor, and they start going crazy. And they're ahead of me. I don't know what's going on. I'm waiting for the update, and then there you see it. Millard North steals the inbounds pass. They go take the lead and win it. Wow. So that breaks for North Star. You had Southwest hold serve. They won.
Yep.
You had what was the?
I'm trying to think of all the scores. I was just this.
There was one more game because they needed 5 results to go right last night. Anyway, long story short, everything went right up until Lincoln High went on the road and took down Creighton Prep.
Wow.
Because
magic.
Because Southwest beat Westview last night. I believe Bell West beating East was one of the ones that they needed. But Lincoln High, a 7-point victory against Prep. And it would appear, I know we still have Omaha West Side still to play tonight, but assuming that result is chalky, it will be Creighton Prep getting the wild card.
Wow. Is that our final before we get the bracket put out? Or do we have an idea? Is there any ideas?
It would appear, if seeding results hold, that you will get, and this is assuming Westside gets a victory. Assuming Westside gets a victory, you'll have Westside, you'll have Southwest, you'll have Millard North, Papillion La Vista, Bell West, Lincoln High, Papillion La Vista South, and Creighton Prep would be the 8. And I believe what might be the most interesting first round matchup to me would be an 8-seeded Lincoln High against a 1-seed Omaha West Side. I've seen both of these teams. Lincoln High is a better matchup than people might think for that West Side team. They have enough size and athleticism down low to, I think, make it tough on West Side's offense.
Yeah, you were the one that brought us that originally.
And West Side's got talent. Don't get me wrong. London Dada, he's special. He's like 6'7" and jumps well, shoots it well, good athlete. But Lincoln High's got some athletes down low. I think if you get Brady Nick scoring like he was scoring last night, that Lincoln High team can beat just about anybody.
What fun! What fun results overall. What just dynamic games again. These kids are all making their dreams or crushing dreams. And if it's anything that gives you the peek up under what state basketball is like in the state, right there, you got a dose of it last night with Mochi on the call and all the other results. Like I said, unfortunately, a lot of the Lincoln hopefuls did not get it done.
Yeah, it was
because we talked about it. Like we started talking yesterday about it, right? Like you're gonna have two Lincoln teams now. When one of those Southeast gets upended, North Star upended.
If games at the high school level were 31 minutes instead of 32 minutes in length, Lincoln would have had four teams. Southeast and North Star.
Yes.
You would have had four teams, and if games were 37 minutes in length, but hey, that's why we love madness.
And we love the madness.
It's unfortunate for those two teams, and you do feel bad for them because Southeast, they were, early in the season, one of the best teams in Class A.
They were top 5, weren't they? Rolling top 5. They hit the slump?
Yeah, they kind of scuffled down the stretch, but then had a chance last night. 3-point lead, as we talked about late in that ball game. They did everything except go and close it out with a few inbounds passes to go and win it. And then North Star, they were the number 1 team in the state for a long portion of this season. Last night, they just couldn't buy a bucket in the fourth quarter. 11-point lead, and they only managed 5 points in the fourth quarter. And part of that was Castor. He was dealing with some cramping issues, so it appeared. So that's going to change some things up for their team. But, man.
Whew, wow. Saying that, and like I said, we mentioned Class B. Pius goes on the road. They get a big one. They'll advance, like I said, 10-16. Norris got it done. They'll be there as well. And a lot of other results that will be pouring in. That poured in last night on all levels as we are getting close, real close. Girls State Wednesday. You'll get that kicking off down at PBA and Devaney throughout the weekend. You'll start seeing the pairings come out and the anticipation for all classes as they make that road, that march down to downtown Lincoln in the next few days or so. Good stuff. Let's take our first break. We'll keep rolling hoops. We're going to talk about a 40-minute basketball game. Can Nebraska play a 40-minute basketball game? That might be the biggest key tonight when we talk coming up Nebraska UCLA.
We got the mics rearranged in there, as you can tell, and it's just screwing me up in here
because the
mics are all different.
They're marked different. I rolled in this morning knowing we were not as much as we love Nebraska. We had to kick it off. My kid actually no one and they came running downstairs. Still excited because he wasn't there. He got a call. Did you ever have this? I think the anticipation of all this was, what time do they play now so I can get out of school?
Yeah.
They're bummed. So at Pipe, kids go to Pipe.
Yeah.
But they're bummed because the girls team, they're
not
pretty
during
good.
The school day.
7:45 at night. But he goes, what about the next? It's everything's a night game for Pies.
Yep.
But I believe the boys they think might play at 1.
It is really fun whenever everyone gets out of school at the exact same time and you get carpools on downtown.
Yes.
You go watch. Yeah, that is a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's the first question. Yeah, you're excited that they're in, but then it's like, what time do they play? Do I get a free day?
I was just excited from a neutral point of view. I was going on my my evening walk last night, and I'm texting people that have been doing games last night. And people are following along and trying to get the updates. This happened. Holy cow, what a night! That was a great night for the neutral fan. Just because you don't always get nights like that.
No.
A lot of times you get a good number of blowouts, and here's the one good game. Last night, about every single game.
Every single game. Really great night. My goodness. We'll probably talk. We'll go Husker Hoop. Make a little bracketology again. They're making me.
I think the question to ask here is a 2 seed still in play for Nebraska?
Yes, and I hope it is.
I think that's the question.
I hope they get it based on the most current both bracketologies that I just saw.
Got to go 2-0. I think down the stretch. 1-1 year 3. 2-0.
Yeah, I think you. Gosh,
2-0 with maybe one win in the Big Ten tournament.
Let's look at that because I want to see. Let's go. All right, let me pull this up. So we'll talk that conversation. It's a great conversation coming up. How does Nebraska get to a 2? Because when was this one? Hold on. Was that today? No. As of yet. So this is yesterday. So they got. All right, we'll talk. They got help yesterday.
Coming back here.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Happy Tuesday. The myth, the man, the legend just walked in to say hi as we kicked off our show the right way, Moti. The Almanac, Jeff Moat. We did not talk Nebraska basketball. We talked the madness of high school hoops. And a lot of your calls last night were played with you and John Harris. Your excitement, what you witnessed at North Star last night.
On the right mic. There we go.
A simple answer: no, you're not on the right mic. But I'm a professional in here. We had all the mics get all rearranged, turned upside down yesterday.
Moti, we went through all.
Who did that?
Well, as you can see on your mic, there's a bit of an issue with the housing,
the flappers. Mine. Look, I got one going down too.
So I say we.
Oh, I did. Boss man was in here. The suit was in here. He took the parts. He goes, "I'll get these chairs fixed."
I just don't know
we're gonna
clean like hex bolt that I've never seen before.
We're gonna clean up this studio.
Anyway,
but we discussed at our first segment was all about last night. Miller North, the big steal. They get it done against Southeast. Pius going to Wahoo to get a big time win.
That was huge.
That Lincoln High
over Creighton Prep.
And then your game that you and John called last night, North Star with a 10-point lead and cannot hold it and get upset on their home floor.
It was actually 41-30 going into the fourth quarter. And we thought, okay, you got 8 more minutes of basketball. One of the two things could happen. One, North Star's momentum could keep going bigger and bigger if they started hitting some shots. Some of those shots weren't falling. There were some turnovers. And Papillion La Vista, to their credit, did such a great job in transition, in defense. And Bryce Vignes at 6'4" and a junior, this is a guy that's getting some looks at football from places like Iowa State. Mm-hmm. And for a kid his size, he's very light on his feet. And he had a couple of moves to the basket last night that, were pretty tough to stop if you're North Star on defense. And those were big difference makers. And then you got Sam Boudreau, who scored that game-winning layup with about 12 seconds left that ultimately gave Papillion La Vista the victory. And North Star had a good look. Will Schaefer, he got the ball. He took a 3, and it was a good look.
I mean, it's a guy that you're happy with taking that shot.
Because
that's the guy you draw it up for.
Yeah, and he had a big 3 earlier in the game, and he had another one in the second half. And I think he was the guy that you had to get the ball to because they were collapsing down on Jordan Castor. Castor was not 100%. He was dealing with cramping in his one leg. At one point in the fourth quarter, he had to come out. And that's when Papillion La Vista really kind of found a way to get around him to attack the basket, make stops on defense.
And it felt like North Star, I guess, through the fourth quarter, this is just from what I was listening to. That's why I want to get your thoughts on him. It felt like once Castor started dealing with some cramping issues, they started settling for some worse shots.
Yeah, and I think they were trying to slow it down a little bit too.
And it just so many possessions felt like they ended up in a well-contested 3 or something of the like. I mean, their offense just absolutely slowed down late.
Yeah, but, the way that things went for North Star last night, not the way they wanted it to go. I remember at one point when we were packing up, in fact, we were doing our post game, the student section of North Star, they had, it was ESPN theme night, and they had the ESPN table with the made up ESPN banner. They had the guys, like they were analysts and stuff, had the headsets on. Well, they actually had their tablets and phones out, and they were watching, or at least looking at the score update from the Miller North Southeast game. Southeast had a 3-point lead that quickly went down to a 1-point lead. And then it was the inbounds pass that was stolen by Kyle Simpson with less than 2 seconds to go that put Millard North up by 1 that brought
They erupted.
they erupted in cheers inside the North Star gym because Millard North was one of the games that they had to win out. Well, here's the other thing that came into play last night. So while we were packing up, we were kind of following on the Lincoln Prep sports feed the game with Prep and Lincoln High, and we saw Lincoln High had a halftime lead, and I looked at John and I said, this game's not over yet, but this is an upset watch right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm driving home and I had it on in my car and I'm listening to Bobby Hessling do the call. And, just hearing what was transpiring in that game, Prep had a 54-52 lead. And then Lincoln High went on a 10-1 run to finish out the game. And Brady Nick had 29 points in that game and they win it. And I text John after I got home. I said, Lynx win. And then he called. He goes, can you believe it? He says, Lincoln High played spoiler to North Star.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's prevented North Star from outright clinching a wild card. Now, the other game was Papillion Livingston South. They won their game. So essentially it was down to Prep and Lincoln High. Now, the way things look heading into tonight, if Omaha Westside wins against Millard South, then Creighton Prep clinches the wild card and they go to state.
And I'm glad you mentioned Lincoln High because they're going to be sitting at the 8 seed, likely playing Westside in the first round if these results hold and the seeding remains what it is. I think Lincoln High would be an active. I think matchup wise, they could match up well with the size and the athleticism they have down low. All I know is I am excited to see that Lincoln High team playing in the state tournament. I've seen them a couple different times this year. Whenever they are playing with confidence and with energy, they are so much fun to watch.
I remember their last state tournament team in 2010. That was with, John's son, John Harris Jr. was on that team as a sophomore guard. I believe they had Michael Partee. I'm trying to remember who else was on that team in 2010. But that was during a stretch when Lincoln High basketball was highly competitive in the city and in the state. And, to me, this is huge for the Lincoln High community in general, considering that this was a team that was not on our radar screen to begin the season. And then all of a sudden through December and into January, hearing from what you and Justice saw, I got to see him a couple of times. I was flat out impressed with the way they played basketball.
Well,
and
it's the dudes that they have. You have a guy in
Russell Rux
that seems to dunk on somebody every single stinking game. Brady Nick, whenever he's on a heater, which he was last night, he's good for 20 plus points because he will just start raining them in. You have a guy it's the two with you have a Suji and Kamorion Taylor and kind of this rotation of guards that they have in the
Jackson and Kingston Cruz, those two brothers, siblings that one's a senior, the other one's a sophomore.
And then Boyd Jock, that's a guy on the inside. I know he's been dealing with a bit of a knee injury as of late, but he jumps out at the gym. It feels like he spikes one on the defensive end. He blocks one like Andy Jackson or Harper Murray or something like that once a game.
Seriously.
As well. Where it just flies straight down into the ground because he gets up so high.
Yeah, and I tell you, I think if you had to put Lincoln High up against, let's say Westside wins, Westside is the number 1 seed of the state tournament. That's the 1-8 matchup I think everybody's going to be watching to see if Lincoln High can pull out an upset. And
because styles make fights, and I think that Lincoln High style can actually keep them around and cause some issues with Westside because
I really do too.
The physicality and the size they have down low. I mean, we talk so much about Dada and the size that Westside has, but Lincoln High has got enough athleticism down low to, I think, affect those guys.
I'm trying to think the last time that Westside, if they win tonight, would be the last time they were a number 1 seed at the state tournament. I think they've been there before, but they have not won a state title since 1980 when they had a guy by the name of Dean Thompson, who they called Dean the Dream because he was a phenomenal guard and shooter. And he played at UNO, and he played for the Omaha Racers back in the day, and also had a bunch of 3-on-3 teams to go play in those national Hoop It Up tournaments that they had across the country. And so, can Westside win their first state title in 46 years? We'll see. It's tough to see a program like that go that long without winning a state title since then. That's their only state championship in boys basketball. But Lincoln High, they're the last LPS team to win a state title. That happened in 2003 when they beat Southeast. Southwest has never won a state title. They played for a state championship once. That was in 2009. There's a lot of what ifs. Papillion La Vista South is back to defend their state title. Can they go for 2 in a row this year? Papillion La Vista look flat out tough. So a lot of good basketball to be played yet.
It's a wide open field.
Yes,
I think it's wide open.
And there are so many different matchups that I think would be appointment viewing down at Pinnacle Bank Arena with this one.
So if you're going to go down there on Wednesday of next week,
get ready.
That would be your day to go, Hooks, because you're going to see some pretty good basketball.
I'm going. Boy, A will be good. Other great results. Norris advances. They'll continue their track to hopefully get a state title there as well. Pius, that big. Go to Wahoo.
I will tell you, I've seen Wahoo twice this year. I've seen Pius once.
That was the surprising result of the evening.
Wahoo is highly athletic and talented. Pius X has got a lot of young guys that are talented. When I saw them against Norris, Norris, put a pretty good tuning on them, if you will, if I want to put it lightly. But Pius, with the Markowski kid as a sophomore, they got a couple other kids that are sophomores. Charlie Morrow is the only senior on that team.
Yep.
And what does that say about what Pius has got coming up? The next year or two in Class B, Pius X could be that team to beat. Norris, right now, they got a lot of seniors. This is kind of their their season. This is what they want to do. But, Pius and Norris are playing great basketball. Omaha Scott, man, they seem like that net that will not go away for both of these teams. Doesn't matter if you're Pius, doesn't matter if you're Norris.
They're just always
always hanging around. And Scott wants to go for 4 in a row, and that's their goal. And Scott's very good. They only beat Norris by 3 earlier in the year. That was a game that we did here on KFOR. So, but the B field with them and Elkhorn North and Scotts Bluff coming in all the way from the Panhandle. I think the B tournament next week is going to be fun to watch too.
There's about 4 or 5 teams in Class A I could see cutting down the nets, and about 3 or 4 in Class B I could see cutting down the nets.
I see about 3 in B. It's hard to say. It's wide open right now. And how about Lincoln Christian in Class C1 on the boys' side getting to the state tournament?
Yep.
So, anything's possible, fellas. That's why they play the games, right?
You just said we're only 2 days into March, and look what's already happened. We're 2 days in.
3. Well, this would be the third day.
This one doesn't count yet. We haven't played a game yet. You've had 2 days, 1 day of just dramatic hoops.
Oh, man, it was fun. You know what? Last night, I remember getting home, and I felt like I was, a young guy in broadcasting trying to follow up who won, who did this, who's ahead, on my phone, constantly checking to see what the scores were. So, yeah, it was fun last night for sure.
I was telling Hooks the same way for me. I got home from our game, ate myself a quick dinner, and then I went for my evening walk, and I'm checking in on these games. I'm going, holy cow, and I'm texting around with everybody. Who was there? Who saw it? What happened?
I had kids running up and down the stairs as they were connected with people that were out in Wahoo as the matchup was happening, and then they were getting videos from other places. It was a pretty electric up and down the stairs at our house.
I think the big upset of the night, though, was Lincoln High and Creighton Prep.
Yeah,
I think that was the big upset of the night. It hurt North Star chances getting in with the wild card, unfortunately for them. And they had a great year at 18-7. Nothing to hang their head about. You got a bunch of guys back next year for North Star that, if they keep it all together, they can make another big run.
Yeah. Well, as one John Rothstein would say, it's March. Grab your nitroglycerin pills.
Yeah, that's right.
Grab your nitroglycerin pills.
Yes, because there's a lot more of that. Well, Moats, thanks, man. We'll do this every day. Updates every day with Moats as you're around.
as I'm
But
around.
I told Elijah as I was rolling in this morning, we're going to talk. Well, I promise you, we're going to talk Husker hoops. But I
Which
said, we are going to talk high school hoops out of the gate.
That game tonight out in Westwood in particular, that's going to be an interesting game to watch.
I called it. I called it. I told, we're going to talk about it. Come on, we are going to take a break. We'll come back. But I told you I wouldn't be surprised if somebody was favored, didn't I? Yesterday,
You did.
UCLA's favored tonight.
I'm not surprised.
They've only lost once at home this year. It was double overtime to Indiana.
Yep, that's the deal. That's the deal. I'm not surprised by it. I thought it could be either side, but I wouldn't be surprised if UCLA gets the nod of that.
Yep.
Say, all right, let's take another break, and we're going to come back. We're going to go out west. We're going to talk Nebraska, UCLA, and the bracket. Both bracketologies have to stop what they're doing.
Yeah.
One of these teams to either play their way down or play their way up, or both of them can. Both. We'll have bracket matrix too. I don't think they're predicting the same thing, but right now, CBS Sports, Bracket and Joe Lunardi are projecting Nebraska a 3, Carolina a 6 in the same area.
Wow.
In the same region.
So what will happen if they meet?
Have you seen what's
going?
Are you going outfit today?
Oh no.
We talked about hooks.
Because they both play tonight. So I always dress. They both.
I want to see you with a hat.
I want to see him with one of the split shirts.
Yeah.
I want to see. I want to see the split hat. One side Nebraska, the other one Carolina.
This would be a rough one.
I want to see that. And on the back it says Huskies or whatever.
And you can sit right on the half court line, half with the North Carolina fans, half with the
This would
Nebraska.
be a rough one.
Special ticket for you, Hooks.
Yeah. I have a feeling one team is going to play their way higher and one team is going to play their way maybe down. Just based on what their schedules look like.
Yeah. But good for you.
Nebraska has Nebraska's got the better chance to play their way up.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
Carolina has 2 left. They've got they play Clemson tonight, and then they got that regular season finale with Puke, which
What are they called?
I don't know what's in.
well, if Schmitty was over here doing it, it's like, oh, you guys ain't talk to me? Schmitty's over there chewing on some jerky.
Yeah, we have a listener that sends us some jerky, good homemade stuff.
This is rocking the jerky right now.
I might need to make my own jerky, honestly.
Let's go.
Get one of those cheap
It's
cuts.
been a while since we've had a food talk with you.
Wait. It's
It's been a while.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm bored.
Could be another good song.
I've begun a diet. It is
Or you're
boring
getting
food
strict.
for
You're
me.
getting bored and getting strict on it.
Yeah. The time came. I was on a bit of a bulk in the weight room, didn't care what I was eating, and now I have to care, and it
now
sucks.
you have to care. Those are the tough ones, but it creates discipline.
Oh yeah,
creates accountability.
I'll be fine. Don't get me wrong. I'll be a changed man by the time June rolls around. But
We could put your 9th grade picture versus
it's gonna suck. Like I'll be fine. It's just gonna suck.
think about how stealthy you'll be. Let's call it stealthy.
I don't think I've ever been stealthy in my life. It's never been me. We're coming back here.
Welcome back in the morning hook. Got special thanks here for the Almanac stepping in and talking a little high school hoops. As we will keep monitoring all this, the brackets, the seating, and just stay with us. This is so much fun stuff for these kids that they're making their way down tomorrow. PBA, the ladies will be at PBA and beginning tomorrow. Exciting games, exciting times, dreams being made, nets being cut throughout the week as they'll make their march to state championships.
And we have our first game of the day tomorrow on KFOR beginning 1:25, Class A quarterfinal between North Star and Millard North. And then at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, we will have Kearney and Lincoln Southwest. So that's what we have coming your way on a Wednesday. Thursday, we get on to C1, Lincoln Christian versus Fort Calhoun. 1:30 tip there, and then 7:45 is the tip and the Class B quarterfinal between Pius X and Beatrice. That's what we
Nice.
got coming up the next 2 days.
Beautiful.
And
And
any Lincoln area teams that win, we would then carry then into the weekend.
Yeah, and stick with us as we, as you know, at times we will keep you apprised of the schedules, not just of those games, but of times where there are opportunities and chances that might present ourselves that we might go to a game that's during our show. So we might be going right from the morning hookup directly to Moats or whoever's down at Pinnacle Bank during that time. I know there's an opportunity possibly Friday.
Should Lincoln Christian win on Wednesday, we would be carrying them. It would be at the tail end of our Friday show. Whenever we usually have Moats, instead of having Moats in studio, we'll have Moats
We'll go directly to we will hand it off to our guy down at Pinnacle Bank Arena on Friday. And as the boys get going, we'll be looking at that as well. Boy, I talk about take a nap. Get your naps in tonight, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. We have a game at 10 o'clock tonight.
Which means it'll be done at roughly just after midnight.
Just after midnight. So get ready. Pace yourselves. Nebraska, UCLA, the newly anointed again top 10 Nebraska, now in number 9. Head to UCLA where they have only lost one time all year long. Playing pretty good basketball right now. Again, they are still looking for those wins to make sure they are securely in the tournament. Nebraska now playing the seeding game, pretty much. Seeding game twice, right? You're playing the seeding game 1 through 4. Win tonight, Nebraska, you lock up to top 4 into the tournament. Big one, triple bye. UCLA, if they're able to get it done, which they've gotten a lot done at home this year. Whatever, they've lost once. It was a double overtime game.
I mean, they've beaten Purdue at home. They've beaten Illinois at home. They got good wins there.
They have great wins there. It looks like a team, we'll get to bracketology. It looks like a team that's probably going to be in.
Yeah, even if they lose tonight, they should still
probably be in.
That's a quality loss.
Yeah. And they are 1.5 point favorites. They get a little slight edge at home based on their home record, the way it's going. Nebraska looks to be the only team to go out west this year and sweep out west. They've had some success the last few years out west, playing on that coast. Tonight, your regular starters. Looking at UCLA a little bit, Donovan Dent. That's as far as you need to look. As good as he's playing right now, great basketball. Coming in right now, averaging 13.5 with 7.5 assists per game. He boasts, we got the best assist turnover guys, but he is a 3.7 to 1 assist turnover guy. And in any other year, those are great numbers.
Either you'd go wow,
but
you got Sam Hoiberg with 5 to 1.
Yeah, and they're a team that likes to get up and down the floor. They're not as tall. That's the one thing that sticks out to me with the team that they currently have. They'll go 6'8", 6'9" across the front, where Nebraska will have the advantage across the front tonight. When you look at the tail of the tape, when you look at this, it is pretty even across the board. When you look at points per game, 3 points, we do shoot the 3 better. We make more. We make about 3 more a game in this. Boy, this is where Nebraska, when I look at the stats, you go back and look at last game against USC. I just mentioned the height. I just came across this. I did not realize that UCLA does not rebound it very well.
No,
29 rebounds a game.
This is actually a style matchup for Nebraska that isn't too bad.
That's 318th.
Now, the concern is that Nebraska, what do? They give up threes, and UCLA knocks down threes at a high clip. They're shooting 38% on the year from 3. The 2 guys to watch out for there, Bilodeau and Sky Clark.
Yeah, which is great.
Bilodeau shooting 45% from behind the arc. You have Sky Clark, obviously less usage there, but shooting 48% from behind the arc.
Which is crazy when you look at their average on the year. Nebraska makes 10 a game. UCLA makes 8 a game. So we'll make a few more. I think that's a great point. We have to win that. Close out well on defense, defend it well, which we've done a really good job of clamping down on 3-point and running them off the line.
And pretty consistently, Nebraska will allow teams to shoot over their average number of 3-pointers in a game. That is by design. You're trying to force them into threes that they don't want to take with good late closeouts. So the goal for Nebraska would be tonight to make, I think, UCLA shoot. So they're shooting 40%, knocking down 3. I'd say 28 to 33s if they're somewhere in that range, and they're knocking them down at a 30% clip. You've gone in there and you've won that battle. If they're 10 from 30 behind the arc, you can live with that. And I think you can still go out there and win. It's going to take points to beat UCLA.
It's also going to be on the Nebraska offensive side, a clean, a clean a clean game, valuing the basketball. When you look at that side of it, UCLA really values the basketball. About 8.5 turnovers a game, where Nebraska is just above 9. How do you get into their pockets just a little bit? As you know, that Sam and Cumbie are very active hands on the defensive side. But I think height tonight, well, a couple of things. Can we play a complete basketball game? I think tonight is where it's got to happen. You look at games like this, you go in the road, hostile environment probably, because they know how good they are at home. You got number 9 walking in the door. UCLA is probably playing with still a little intensity.
Little chip on the shoulder.
Little chip on the shoulder to get it done, right? You got a number 9 Nebraska walking in. Still playing with a little anxiety. Probably just one more top 10 win, guys. We get one of these. We don't have to think about what we need to do in the Big Ten tournament, right? This is height, toughness, play a complete game. UCLA feels like a team, if you get behind, they're not going to let you back in the door.
Nope.
They're not going to let you back in. The toughness that we displayed, and I think it's going to start, do it without fouling. Can't give a bunch of fouls. We need that Burke to be there again tonight. That type of deal. Does rank get going? This will also be another night to me. Is watch how they defend Price. They're going to be a lot more athletically defending Price than you saw against USC.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just a team that we've seen how USC has kind of fallen apart since the Nebraska game. UCLA's got better togetherness.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I think that togetherness quickly falls apart when they face adversity because of the man at the top in Cronin. It's like the best comparison I have for Cronin at UCLA is Nebraska football under Bo Pelini.
Yeah, you said that yesterday. It's a beautiful comparison.
Remember what happens whenever Nebraska football faced adversity under Bo Pelini? He'd start blowing up on the sideline, and here's the team falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
If
Crumbling, mistake, penalty.
The pressure that seeing Bo freaking out on the sideline would put on that team, it just felt like, oh, here comes bad run fits, here comes a Taylor Martinez interception, here comes a fumble, whatever it may be. Kind of feel the same way about UCLA with Cronin, where if they find themselves, down by 6, down by 8, Nebraska's on a run, and Cronin's freaking out on the sideline, I feel like that team is more apt to crumbling as opposed to coming together.
I agree.
But that changes at home. They're better at keeping it together at home.
Looking at the current, everybody's updated bracketology. I'm sure you have bracket matrix. Looking at these teams right now. I mentioned it earlier. Both sites that I look at, I've Lenardi and CBS. They both have UCLA as a 10 seed right now. Both as a 10. Again, that's it. If you're looking at it, you're going 10. That's still low anxiety moments. If you slip up a couple more times, then you're thinking, how do I keep it in? Both sides have Nebraska sitting in that 3 line. You brought up a great question. Maybe it's during the break. Is how do Nebraska get? Is the 2 line still open?
There is 8 at-larges below UCLA that, at least according to Bracket Matrix, are all in. So you have realistically 8 teams that would need to jump you before you fall out, or 9 teams that need to jump you before you fall out of the tourney. That's why I say against an opponent like Nebraska, UCLA can rise. I don't think they'll fall that much at this point in the season. For almost every team out there, the hay is in the barn. And once you're at this point, a bad loss will drop UCLA. A loss against a good team will not drop UCLA very far at all.
No.
For evidence, Iowa lost this past weekend. They dropped, and it was a bad loss, if you remember correctly. Yeah?
Yes.
We all familiar with the Iowa loss this weekend?
Yes.
It was bad. What was the final score here? 71-69 against Penn State.
That's not even the bad card, girl. That's a horrible loss.
Iowa dropped from a 7 seed to an 8 seed with a terrible loss.
Isn't that crazy?
So
it's just not a lot happening now. You look at UCLA, they have us and USC left. Again, like you said, a loss to us tonight will not kill them.
1-1 and UCLA is in as a 10 seed.
Oh, done all day long. Now, can Nebraska get to the 2 line?
Yes.
That was the question. About yes is the answer. First of all, they got help last night. They got help with that. Iowa State getting throttled. My goodness.
Schmitty knows me a steak and a beer.
The path is there, but I still think it's less than looking at the teams ahead. I think it's less than 50% that Nebraska can get there based on this. Look who's ahead of you on that line. And again, according to Joe Lenardi, Here's what he has as the 2 seeds. He hasn't updated today yet. And in order, I believe he has these in order. The number 1, 2 seed would be Michigan State, Florida, Houston, Illinois.
And according to Bracket Matrix, it's similar. Yeah, you actually have Michigan State sitting as the top 3 seed, but plenty of brackets have them in as a 2.
Yep.
The Bracket Matrix has Florida, Houston, Illinois, Iowa State. This is not updated after last night's game.
Because Iowa State took that big one.
Iowa State takes a big loss, that dropping down to a 3. That would put Nebraska. That means in order to get up to a 2, they would have to jump both Michigan State and Iowa State.
And then you
also see what happens with Illinois.
Yeah,
I think it's because of the way teams are playing with Illinois, Iowa State, and Michigan State. I think you have a chance. You would need some help from the other teams. I think just 2-0 down the stretch and a win in the Big Ten tournament. If those other teams hold serve, it'll be a struggle to jump them. But you could do it if you get another loss from all 3 of those teams.
Well, here's what you got. You got Michigan State, right? How does Michigan State escape it? They've got Rutgers, but then they finish up at Michigan.
Yes. So a loss there from Michigan State. Now, it wouldn't drop them significantly, but if Nebraska's 2-0 with maybe a win in the Big Ten tournament or a head-to-head win against Michigan State in the Big Ten tournament.
You're correct. The other team you mentioned there was Illinois, right?
Mm-hmm. And Illinois is struggling down the stretch. That's a team to me that I feel like is looking ahead to March a little bit.
They've got a big one tonight. Now, it's not like going there, but I think their schedule is a little easier to stay where they're at. They've got Oregon at Illinois tonight, and then they go to Maryland. You presumably on paper saying, all right, Illinois is probably going to lock this thing down.
But they've not been playing the best basketball.
They have not. Who else? Purdue. Purdue is another one that could possibly still play their way up, as well as Purdue will finish up their season. A big one at the end. They got at Northwestern tonight. Northwest, sneaky little basketball team. Not to take her out. Then they finished their season at Mackey against Wisconsin.
I think Purdue is in the same boat as Nebraska in that they would need some help from teams above them in order to jump up into a 2-seed line. They're pretty universally a 3.
Florida, one of those teams that you look at that's really good. I think they're one of the top contenders to win the whole stinking thing. They're currently as a 2 now. It's an interesting. They got Mississippi State coming up here tonight, and then they got to finish their season Saturday at Rump Arena against Kentucky, which a Kentucky team is playing pretty desperate right now too. That other team was Houston, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got on their schedule, they're going to go Baylor, Oklahoma State.
Yeah, it's 2 wins. That's 2 wins.
So it is not
playing good ball.
It's not out of the realm, but if, like you said, if all the other teams hold serve, now, what if you win the Big Ten tournament? It's all off the table.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to get major points.
Now, I don't think there's anything that can get Nebraska up to a 1 seed, even if you go win the Big Ten and get some help.
I honestly, those are locked.
Win the Big Ten, and I think you're a 2. That's no matter what happens these final 2
You're going to get massive credit with a power conference like the Big Ten of winning it.
Yep.
I think winning the Big Ten or the SEC tournament trumps all the other tournaments. Out there.
Making it to a Big Ten championship game does not do much for Nebraska. Winning the Big Ten, that carries some weight.
Yes.
Quick question here. We have about 60 seconds before we get out. What do you make of all this discourse around what if Miami of Ohio doesn't win their conference? Do you put them in? Have you been seeing this?
Yeah, they're in. I think they're in. I don't know.
So you think that's just talking heads talking?
It's talking heads talking because there's always the conversation around that group of 5, right? There's always. But you cannot discount what they've done, the number of wins, and the way they've gotten it done.
Folks are trying to.
I think they're crazy. And I know Bruce Pearl started this conversation.
Because he wants Auburn in.
Auburn's not good.
No.
Yeah, they play again. That whole thing. That team is undefeated, and maybe they don't. I don't know. They've earned the right to be in that tournament right now.
Basketball is a make or miss sport. If you're undefeated, even against bad teams, that's saying something.
It's just my opinion. So, all right, we're going to get out of here for a little bit. Come back, talk Husker baseball, Brian Munson, and a whole lot more. We'll be right back.
I could tell something wasn't right. My buddy Jake just wasn't himself. He seemed down. I was concerned about him and asked if he was thinking about suicide.
We all have a role in preventing suicide. Know the warning signs. They may not seem like themselves, be depressed, withdrawn, stressed, agitated, or talking about suicide. Call, text, or chat 988 for 24/7 support. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Let's go. At Liberty First Credit Union, you don't have to wait. Get auto loan rates as low as 2.99% and personal loans as low as 7.49% for up to 36 months. Whether you're upgrading your ride, tackling a project, or planning your next big move, Liberty First helps you get there faster for less. Liberty First Credit Union. Let's go save. Rate and APR based on creditworthiness, term, and if applicable, vehicle details. See Liberty First Credit Union for details. Equal housing lender. Equal housing opportunity.
I am struggling to find something fun for the kids this summer. Any suggestions?
Yes, you have to check out Bright Light's Summer Learning Adventures.
Really? Tell me more.
My kids love the variety of topics. They're perfect for grades K through 8. Bright Light's half-day and full-day camps fit our schedule. Plus, they offer before care and lunch care.
Amazing. How do I sign up?
Go to brightlights.org to see the list of camps and to register.
Bright Lights Summer Learning Adventures, where summer fun and learning shine. Visit brightlights.org to see the list of camps and register today.
Making an Impact, sponsored by Granger. We know about boxed wine, but what about paper wine? One California winery is going greener with paper wine bottles. Here's Shannon Baladeras from Monterey Wine Company.
It's better for the environment. It reduces the carbon footprint by 6 times that of glass.
For the ones who get it done, Granger offers the professional-grade products you need delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by.
What time is it? The Time Shop reminds you it's time to set your clocks and watches ahead 1 hour before you go to bed this Saturday night. To keep your watch running on time, bring it to the Time Shop for service, repair, or to get a new battery installed while you wait. It takes no time at all, and you'll get a level of customer service you won't find anywhere. And if you need a new watch, the Time Shop has a terrific selection of Pulsar and Seiko watches for men and women. Lincoln's time-honored tradition. The Time Shop, 6450 O Street next to McDonald's.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Make hauling easy with the MWC Park Can Easy Dump. This satellite dumper goes where big garbage trucks can't and can haul everything from trash to yard waste to recycling. The fully automatic Easy Dump fits in the back of a standard pickup truck, so there's no need for a CDL license. Perfect for alleys, gated communities, condos, parks, anywhere. Come see the Easy Dump yourself at MWC Can in Lincoln, or go to MWC-can.com today.
Lincoln's local news, talk, sports, and weather station. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, and KFRX HD3, Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A worldwide stock sell-off amid fears of a wider war in the Middle East. The Dow losing 2.5% right now, down more than 1,100 points. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
This is a little bit of a delayed reaction to what we're seeing as the conflict escalates in the Middle East. And some of the traders I've been talking to say what they are coming to terms with here is the reality that this could be a more prolonged conflict.
Gas prices up 11 cents just overnight as the price of oil spikes. As for the conflict itself, ABC's James Longman is in northern Iraq.
Iran is unleashing hell on this region with more American targets in the firing line by the hour. Israel and the U.S. are trying to take out Iranian military capabilities, and yet still drones and missiles are raining down. And now 2 U.S. embassies in the Gulf have been forced to close.
Many in Congress asking why there was no approval from them before the strikes. ABC Chief White House Correspondent Mary Bruce.
Overnight, the president sent formal notification of these strikes to the Hill, but Democrats are demanding that this war be put to a vote, and the House is expected to take up a war powers resolution later this week. That would block any further U.S. military action in Iran without congressional approval, but that is unlikely to become law.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem telling members of the Senate Judiciary Committee that members of ICE are heroes.
They are facing a serious and escalating threat as a result of deliberate mischaracterizations of their heroic work and rhetoric that demonizes our law enforcement.
Senate Judiciary Committee ranking member Senator Dick Durbin citing the killing of 2 U.S. citizens in Minneapolis, telling Noem,
Madam Secretary, under your leadership, the Homeland Security Department has been devoid of any moral compass or respect for the rule of law.
Noem also discussing the partial government shutdown affecting her department. Dow's down 1,100 points, S&P down 145. You're listening to ABC News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
5 LPS students score perfect on the college entrance exam. Good morning, I'm Jeff Modes. 41 degrees at KFOR. LPS on Monday recognized 5 students that scored a perfect 36 on the ACT exam. 3 of the students are from East High School. The other 2 are at Lincoln High, including senior Abby Cruz, who told KFOR's media partner 1011 News she was mostly self-motivated and her parents wanted her to do her best. Cruz says that she is a bit of a perfectionist and her parents always encouraged her to have a good work ethic.
Not something I would have believed a year ago, so I'm just super psyched about it.
Cruz is planning to go to the University of Nebraska, Omaha for a pre-med program studying molecular and biomedical biology. The student is given a by the University of Nebraska. That's awarded to up to 50 Nebraska students each year and includes a full ride to any University of Nebraska campus, plus a $5,000 annual stipend. A fire from February 18th at the Alnor Market north of 27th and Vine has been ruled an arson, according to Lincoln Fire and Rescue. Fire investigator involved has made that determination, and LFR continues to work with Lincoln Police in that matter. Fire investigators confirm the market will not be operational for some time because of the damage. A bill making an exception in Nebraska law that would add a living person to the Nebraska Hall of Fame, something that normally is not done until somebody is passed, will go before the full Nebraska legislature. The Government, Military, and Veterans Affairs Committee voted 6-0 to advance LB 1159 from Hastings Senator Dan Lanowski at the request of Governor Jim Pillen. The request to make exception to add former Nebraska football coach and Congressman Tom Osborne to the Nebraska Hall of Fame. If approved, Osborne would be the first living inductee into that hall, and the Hall of Fame Commission would need to induct a member matching only Osborne's description by January 1st. Pillen is a former football player at Nebraska, playing for Osborne in the 1970s. Cloudy today with off and on chances of drizzle throughout the day, a high of 50. Same thing for tonight, a low of 36. Partly sunny tomorrow, 30% chance of rain and a high of 57. I'm Jeff Motes, KFOR News.
Is your furnace ready for the cold winter? Call the pros at Bryant. No matter what make or model, Bryant will perform a thorough heating check, giving you peace of mind, or steps to ensure a warm home throughout the season. Bryant also offers free second opinion heat exchange checks. Before you spend thousands on a new furnace, let Bryant check it free. Anytime you need furnace service or repair, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Every team needs an MVP. For 39 years, Carpetland has been the MVP of flooring. Upgrade your home with the area's biggest selection of flooring, with options for professional installation or in-stock products ready for your DIY project. And here's the game changer. We'll meet or beat any comparable
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Welcome back to the Morning Hookup, hour number 2. Thanks for hanging out with Elijah and myself on another ominous morning outside. Low drizzle, low clouds. It's okay.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. I'm sorry. Headphones came out. Hold on.
I could say anything right now and you wouldn't know what I'm saying.
Getting a little happy over here. I'm trying to figure out like how my night's going to go. It's 10 o'clock at night for a hoops here in the city of Lincoln tonight. Like when the nap occurs, because I'm going to watch Carolina plays at 6, senior night there for Seth Trimble. So I got that. Is there a nap in between somehow? Can I get a nap in after that game and before the Nebraska game? Maybe. It's going to feel weird because I feel like I want to eat while I'm watching the game too at 10 o'clock at night. Because that's what you do, right? You have on the away games, like I don't know, some wings or something while you're watching the 10 o'clock game.
See, we were talking during a break last hour. I'm on a bit of a diet, so I have some. I have some pistachios.
Oh, are you on that? My wife eats pistachios every night.
It's a nice little before bed snack.
She's got like these sweet chili and lime ones. She really likes them.
I got salt and pepper, but
it's the big, like to get the big bags too. Yeah,
I like.
It's like her nighttime snack.
I also like the salt and vinegar almonds.
Oh,
I could eat a million of those.
Salt and vinegar is interesting. Both my kids, which you wouldn't think, 15 and 11, the boys, not Sophia, but like both love salt and vinegar chips, salt and vinegar stuff. Not something I would put. I'd say, oh, a teenager or an 11-year-old will eat salt and vinegar anything.
Salt and vinegar kettle cooked potato chips.
That's what they get. We get
Elite.
bags and bags of those.
Elite.
Bags and bags of those.
I could also eat a million of those. So good.
They literally walk in on most school days after school. They say hi or they go, right? And they go right to those chips and get a bowl and just pour it in a bowl. And then they go to another table. Yeah. Like they go to another room.
Yeah.
Because we all know when your kids get home, they do not want to talk to you. They need time to just come down. And they do it by like probably watching YouTube and crushing chips. And then they go, red chips.
Dude, and kettle cooked potato chips are expensive nowadays.
They are.
If you're in the family size bag, it's like $6 a bag.
I remember the days. This would have been, I was in college. When the baked Lay's came out. That was the craze.
Those are big whenever I was in like middle school too.
Baked Lay's. I was in college. It was like my wife and I were just dating.
Gross. I don't like them. There's my hot take. I don't think they're good at all. They're not deep fried. I don't want them.
So I got a lot of,
so after we're done with the Average Joe Sports Show this evening, I got to figure out, I got a busy evening ahead of me potentially. Because I have our preseason umpires meeting.
Ooh, big time.
Yeah, I'm going to miss the first little bit of it because it starts whenever like the Average Joe Sports Show finishes up. There's driving time.
They know who you are.
I'm not sure about that.
You're rolling in like.
So I got to make it over to that. And then I got bowling league at 9.
What?
Yeah.
You can't sub out tonight, can you?
I don't think so. Well, we're going to figure that out. Once my brother's on his lunch break, we'll get it figured out. And then that's done like 10:30. So I'll be back just in time for probably like halftime of the Husker basketball game and then watch the second half of that.
It's going to be a big time night. And I are going to be dragging in the morning.
I'd like to sneak an evening walk in there at some point, but I'm not sure what's going to happen tonight.
You know what you do? Like in between bowling, just walk up and down the bowling alley.
I'll just walk from the umpires meeting to the bowling alley.
Done. How close could it? I mean, how long could it take? Just you park at the bowling alley. Walk back. Done. All done. Also today, by the way, I don't know if they're going to get it done.
Oh, wait. This is a good thought here from Jeff Smitley in the stream. Wings at 7, popcorn at 10.
Oh, I do like popcorn.
So what's the 7 o'clock game tonight?
Oh, I'm watching the Tar Heels play. They play at 6.
Okay, yeah, that
Senior
works.
night.
So
Senior night.
Wings at 6, popcorn at 10, or salt and vinegar chips at 10.
Man, I don't know, man. As you get older, man, you start eating the wrong stuff at night. Be up all night. Popcorn might be one that causes problems. How about some bag of shelled peanuts? Just eat peanuts.
I know you're sort of from the South.
Yeah.
You're kind of on that dividing line.
I'm below the Mason-Dixon line.
Are you boiled peanuts, man?
Nope.
I've never understood that phrase.
Nope. I need legit like I call them baseball peanuts.
Yeah,
that's what they are. The ones in the bag.
Have you done peanuts in Coca-Cola? That's another Southern thing.
In Coca? No.
Never heard of that?
No.
That's how Nick Saban drinks his Coca-Cola. Apparently,
it's psychotic behavior.
I think it's better than a Pepsi.
That's like watching who was it that dipped their hot dog in their beer?
It's not bad. It's the sweet and the salty combo.
Yeah,
it sounds crazy. Would I do it every single time? No. If I am working like outside and like hot summer day, peanuts and a Pepsi would be pretty fantastic.
Yeah, see,
because it's that sweet, that salty, gives you a little bit of protein and nutrition with the peanuts.
It does sound good, but you probably don't know this. This has been I dedicated to as you're on the strict diet thing. I did 2 things 2 years ago.
Cut out soda. I remember that.
Done. Have not had one, and I was always the mixture of Coke Zero. And 2 years almost to the day, like last week, no chew. No chew in 2 years. So I actually like one time somebody like
that's the best way to work on a hot summer's day is with a Coke, some peanuts, and some chew.
Yeah, at one point there was like somebody did mix up, like, 'cause I'm a Crown and water guy. Now that's what I do. That's just what I stick to. And they put like some kind of like Sprite or something in it, and it's instant was like my taste buds are gone from it. And anything from it. Like I used to buy cases of Coke Zero, but I wouldn't only to put in my drinks. It wasn't to have a quenching summer Coke Zero in the patio.
Coke Zero is kind of magical, by the way.
It is.
Like I don't know. I don't see nothing bad with Coke Zero. It's like 0 calories.
Yeah.
Still tastes like Coke.
Also, speaking of that, I think that they're gonna, I don't know, they haven't announced yet, but Nebraska baseball is supposed to kick off their home opener today. Have they had put anything out there about you mentioning peanuts and all that kind of stuff? I don't know, but it could be. Is that supposed to be 1 o'clock today?
Yeah, but we'll see what
we'll see with that weather. We're not going to get into it. They play UNO. They're sending I'm drawing a blank on the name to the bump. Evan told us that's probably what they're going to do. He was the kid that was originally in the starting rotation.
Oh, Katsky.
Yes, he will go. He's supposed to go today.
And this feels like to me like a little bit of a tryout for can you be a weekend guy?
Yes, you'll have that.
But that's 1:30 on BTN Plus, and it looks like they're still.
I think
as of now,
there's been no announcement.
As of now, they're still planning on going.
But I want to do this. You and I were talking during the break a little bit about, all right, these conferences, and we got into the Miami of Ohio thing. Should they get in still if they don't win their yes. At some point in those rooms, they still have to have the human element of conversations, right? The human element comes. It is, I don't care what conference you're in or where you're at. It is hard to go undefeated. Okay. And I get, well, they're playing weaker. I get it. But night in and night out to end up perfect, that's dang near impossible. Okay. Whatever. But it led us to the conversation of looking at the conferences, how many legit teams in each conference, in having the honest conversation, again, this is just on paper, can actually win the national championship. Because we know the Big Ten is going to get 10 teams, the ACC is going to get 8, SEC 10 or 11 teams. But which team, and again, I do know this, a lot of it is draw, where you get seeded, who you're playing, all that stuff, right? Because styles make fights in the tournament. That's what makes the tournament so magical.
Yeah, that's why it's madness.
That's why it's madness, right? The styles do make fights, and coaching matters. ACC. Look at the ACC. I'm here to tell you right now, I'm a Carolina fan. There's only one team in that conference that I think can win the tournament.
Duke.
That's it. Puke. That's it. The
next Virginia, there's no chance.
No. Miami. Whoa.
No.
Carolina, no. And not just being all honest. By the way, tonight would be fun to watch if you want to watch it. Carolina goes tonight, and again, it's a weaker ACC for the 5th time. They're going for it tonight to be the 5th time in their history undefeated at home.
It's Clemson. Sorry,
Clemson. They could go to 18-0 at home.
And Clemson's sitting on an 8 seed line, so you should win that game.
But again, but look at the rest of that. There's just one. That's being totally honest.
How many teams from the Big Ten? Because I think the Big Ten's got the most candidates.
The Big Ten, Michigan, yes.
Absolutely. Do we think Illinois?
Illinois, yes.
If Illinois can get back to what they were doing early mid-January, Absolutely.
I
they can
think
win it all.
those are the two top 1A teams in the Big Ten. Are there other potentials? Maybe one.
Nebraska?
Maybe two. That Nebraska would be in my conversation, but Purdue is the one going.
There's a couple. Purdue and Nebraska are both teams because I don't see Michigan State winning it all.
Nope, I don't think they have good enough offense. To win it.
100% agree. Purdue and Nebraska are the two teams where they would need really favorable draws.
Yep.
Like Michigan can go and win it all no matter who their draw is. I could see them beating every single team in the field.
Yep.
I am not in that boat with Nebraska and Purdue.
Nope.
So that's what kind of sets Michigan apart. Illinois, to me, if they get back to their early January form, they're also a team that can go beat anyone in the field. So I'm with you on the two teams that I think get back to me once I see Selection Sunday.
Exactly. Big East, one.
UConn.
Big East has one.
There's not. Is there anyone else that's even close in the Big
St.
East?
John's, maybe?
No way.
St. John, no. Big 12.
Big 12, two?
Two. I think you're right. Arizona, but they proved it last night, and by the way, and Houston.
Yeah, I don't think Iowa State. Iowa State has been they're great at home. Iowa State's great at home. Completely different team on the road.
They're just non-trusting teams there, right? Texas Tech, honestly, could have been in that conversation, but with Toppin going out, tough road. Kansas, no. Iowa State, too much of the ups and downs, and I wouldn't even, BYU hurt. No.
Let me also say, I could see, because Kansas is a team that, depending on who you ask, I think you get different opinions. They're a team I could absolutely see making a Final Four. They're not a team that I could see. If it's Kansas in the Final Four with a Duke, Michigan, and an Arizona all up there, no. They can't win it all.
Agreed. The other conference that I think this is the one that sticks out a big time. SEC.
One.
Yes, I think you're right. Florida. I don't think there's enough from I don't think the other two schools that I would put up there. I'd put in Alabama and Arkansas in a conversation, but they don't do it on both ends of the floor. Alabama doesn't play defense. They can score a lot. And I think Arkansas is too young.
Yes, I'm with one. The SEC, and this is what sparked the conversation. They are so far from what they were last year.
They are.
Last year, the SEC had, 4 teams that you felt like could win it all? This year, it's just the one in Florida, in my opinion. Now, there's an interesting one here. West Coast Conference. Do they have one that could go win it all?
Who?
Gonzaga?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Here, I love this conversation because as I didn't look at this yet. I just brought up today's current odds to win the national championship.
I am unfamiliar with this. Can I take a guess at who's number one?
Go for it.
Arizona.
No.
Michigan.
Yes, there you go. Michigan. But what this will tell you, I think they're telling you there's about 4 teams. But here's the order. So you got Michigan 1, 2 plus 250. Puke 2 plus 300. Arizona plus 450.
That's good value.
Florida at the 4 plus 650.
And then UConn? No.
Houston. Wow. Houston, as our good friend Marco D'Angelo would say, plus 900. UConn plus 1,200 and Illinois at plus 1,600. That might be the value.
Where's Nebraska at? They got plus 25.
So the teams we talked about are all in those conferences. Like a Michigan State is sitting there at plus 3,500. They had the same odds as Purdue. Nebraska plus 6,000.
Really? That much worse than Michigan State and Purdue?
They are. So they have. So let's see. You have. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Let's go back. We'll go back and kind of. So they're in the territory at plus 6,000 with St. John's, Texas Tech, Tennessee. Those are all plus 6,000 on the board.
I like Nebraska's odds better than any of those teams.
Just above them would be Alabama, Arkansas. Are you clicking the button already?
Listen.
Gonzaga plus 4,500 off the board.
Listen.
Also noted that Nebraska has better odds than North Carolina.
I don't think Nebraska wins at all. Those odds are a little disrespectful, though.
Because it puts the other two schools, Michigan State and Purdue, at plus 3,500 together. Kansas, by the way, team that you mentioned, you could see making a run. Plus 2,200, just below Iowa State, and ahead of Michigan State and Purdue.
I would take Kansas over Iowa State to go cut down the nets. If you're giving me the option between the two, I think Kansas has a better chance.
Yep.
I don't think they win at all, but I think they got a better chance.
Worst odds on this particular board that I have is BYU at plus 10,000.
Yeah, no chance.
No chance. Virginia plus 7,000.
Wild how far we've come since that exhibition game at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Yeah, well, BYU was an up and down team all year long. I think we were trying to figure out how to play with a guy like
Bansa.
And
then who was the dude that got hurt?
Saunders. Saunders went out with the ACL.
Yeah.
So
that changed things.
That changed things across the board for them completely. So there's some odds. There's the teams that the Vegas believes in, cutting the nets down. But we know, like I said, get back with us on Selection Sunday. That Monday, we'll have to review what we just saw because there's going to be so many different matchups when styles make fights in the tournament.
General question here before we get to Brian Munson. Yep. If you had to predict it right now, which team do you think is going to have the highest number of brackets picking them to win it all?
Which team?
Yeah. Which team is going to, if you go on the ESPN Tournament Challenge, which team is going to have the most number of fans thinking they're going to win it all?
Arizona. I think it's Arizona.
I don't think there's going to be a runaway.
I think
I could see Michigan as well, but then I could see Duke because Duke is Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Puke.
Thank you.
But just in terms of the fan base, and because there's so many casual fans, they're going to turn up and they're going to see Duke's a 1 seed. Yeah, they're going to win it all.
Yes. And their odds will be really good based on if it holds serve, they'll be the number 1 overall seed, which typically is what should be the clearest path to success. Like right now, this is fun. I could do this all day long. Thank you guys for entertaining. Right now, if you look at bracketology, for instance, yeah, I just love looking at what these paths would look like. Oh God, that'd be. Who would you? This would be a tough. Like right now, they've got them the 1 seed in Greenville, North Carolina. The 1 seeds get to one of the 8 and 9. St. Louis, Iowa.
Yuck.
Yuck. Oh boy. Okay,
I'm curious. We talked last hour about how wide open Class A is in Nebraska high school basketball. The NCAA tournament's pretty wide open.
Yeah.
Well.
I love to look at those matchups in the first round, but then more of the second round stuff. What does that look like? Because right now, again, for us, it's got Nebraska and Carolina in a collision course in round 2.
I'd love that. I know you wouldn't, but I'd love that.
I'd be okay. I'd be okay.
Should we do Brian Munson here?
Let's do it. Let's take a break and we'll talk some football and recruiting with Brian Munson, HuskerOnline.com. My daughter, I got to text her back. Is her down in Arkansas right now?
Why?
Well, let's see.
Arkansas of all places.
Spring break. And they're in the Hot Springs, Arkansas. Hot Springs. And,
okay, that'd be like the one place in Arkansas that'd be worth visiting.
So I was talking this morning because looks like there's a weather pattern coming through there tomorrow. So Dad, first time she's been gone like this, she's coming back this way today versus tomorrow. Because it looks like through that whole area, like through Fayetteville and Joplin and all that's gonna be like some potential severe stuff. I'm like, I would suggest if I were your dad, and from a safety standpoint, I would want to drive back in clear, sunny skies.
Yeah.
And so they are going to do that. So I'm working on after this they're going to go up to Kansas City tonight. It's like a 5.5, 6 hour drive. I'm like, do you guys just get to Kansas City tonight? Then you can hunker down. because after it looks like, again, I'm not a weather guy. It looks like everything north of Joplin tomorrow is clear.
Well,
then they'll have 3.5 hours in from Kansas City. Depends on where they end up staying at tonight.
Go and see the World War I Museum while you're in Kansas City.
Yep.
Love that place.
So we've been monitoring and just help them. It is the first time, I think, all of them, she's with like 5 other girls, 6 of them, that have to really think about navigating the roads. Brian Munson. Oh, I'm going to ask. I got questions. Welcome back to the morning hookup. It's that time on a Tuesday. Bringing our guy from HuskerOnline.com, Brian Munson. B, what's up?
I am thinking about my morning tomorrow, man. I'm thinking about my how I got to get up early to take the kids to football practice, and basketball doesn't even start until 10 o'clock tonight.
That's my opening question for guys in our age in our age bracket. How to navigate 10 o'clock basketball, because I just came back. I was out there. I took my son and 2 of his buddies. We were in LA for the USC game, which was an amazing time. But I know I felt really good going out with the 2-hour time change. I maybe have caught up today with the 2-hour and giving it back. And again, I'm going to watch Carolina basketball tonight. They play at 6. Is it like a nap in between games, and then how do I navigate my food intake? Because I usually am a guy that when I watch a sporting event at home, it comes with food.
Yeah. So I think for me, because Tuesday night's always like a deadline thing for me. I got to write 3 and out for Wednesday morning, and this week is complicated because visitors coming in and kind of some trends I'm kind of watching and stuff like that. So I've been thinking about it already, and I wrote like some high level stuff. But even if I like wrap up my writing by 8 o'clock, there's 2 hours. And my thought is like, I probably need to go take a walk with the dogs and kind of get the blood going a little bit, because it's like usually like 8 o'clock hits, the wife walks up front and says, "Hey, you want to watch one of the shows or whatever we got going on?" And we usually then we'll watch something, but then tonight is different, special in that way. It's like, okay, yeah, honey, you go to bed, and I'm going to be up till midnight or after, watching the Huskers play out on the West Coast. It is just, I think it's a walk. I don't want to do anything like heavily caffeinated, because I don't want to like not go to bed until 3 o'clock in the morning. Cause like I said, kiddo has to be at football practice at 6:30 tomorrow morning. So everything is very bright and early tomorrow morning. So it's either 3 hours of sleep or hopefully 5. And I'm really shooting for that 5 hours. So I'm just thinking a walk and some conserving of energy, and then hopefully I can keep the eyes open. I might have to get like the pry bars, like open the eyelids up and keep them open.
Well, here's a thought. Now, this might be crazy, but if you're looking at like 9 p.m., you could try to get that little nap in, wake up at some point during the first half, and then get rock and roll. So you can sneak in an hour of sleep, say a little bit before the game, potentially.
I think at that point right there, my body just would feel like you're teasing me so bad. Yeah, you're teasing me so bad now, and then it'd be such a challenge. Like, see halftime, I'd find myself probably having to go walk then, and that may be what the secret is anyway. Is like, you know, you got to do a walk before, you got to do a walk at halftime, and come back in and hopefully see the rest of the second half. So I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, you know, I think we're really acting like I'm like got like a cane in a Rip Van Winkle beard, like down to my knees or something like that. And I don't, but I'm telling you, man, like I just fade out so quickly anymore. Like 10 o'clock, you know, 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30. It is just like, I'll see you in 7 hours, you know, if I'm lucky. Sometimes it's even earlier than that if the new puppy is deciding to bark at 4 o'clock like she did this morning.
It's Brian Munson with us here, HuskerOnline.com. And Brian, one thing that does not sleep, though it has felt a little sleepy this spring, is Husker football. And I want to transition, talk some Husker football with you. That was a nice transition.
That was good. Yeah, that was good.
That wasn't bad. I had to give myself some credit there. But I do want to ask you, this weekend, Matt Rule talked, the care level from Husker fans on that seems to be minimal as it stands right now. But one thing Husker fans did care about this weekend was the combine. Emmett Johnson got out there, performed, and I think it was an all right day from him, not a great day from him. But some guys that out there really impressed, the Styles brothers from Ohio State, they were incredible. You just see some of these freak athletes get out there and perform during the combine, and you go, holy cow, how is that even possible? I want to ask you, as you preview this year's Husker football team and we're looking at spring, who's a guy or two that you have circled as one of those freak athletes for Nebraska that Nebraska needs to find a way to get on the field, those types of guys that would be head turners at the combine?
Well, I think a natural guy to say here is Carter Nelson. He was such a terrific athlete, you know, in high school at Ainsworth, that's really what like shocked me the most. Like, I saw this guy's name online and in newspapers and stuff like that as like a sophomore, like just tearing up state track. And you just go, gosh, you know, and he's just had one thing after the next. And he's got this double, you know, was it his hips or was it his knee or something? He had a couple more surgeries here recently, and you know, missing time for this and missing time for that. And when you did see him like on special teams, he's a hard-nosed kid. I mean, I think everybody wanted to kind of like pick on the fact that he didn't play tight end specifically, and maybe that's like played some role. No, it's just been like getting healthy, you know, and just trying to stay on the football field. So one guy that he is just like, he would be like the top guy. I really feel like, you know, like that is just like, we just have not seen the things that I felt like we probably could have by now, because he just has not remained healthy. So I'm gonna stand and stick with Carter Nelson as my number one. I just hope he can get healthy by this fall to where we can see a little bit of that. I think there's some opportunities out there at those spots. I think Ja'Cory Barney is another guy that, you know, that obviously with his freak athletic skills and scaling, you know, Memorial Stadium by just like with his hands and his feet was the most ridiculous video I've ever seen before. And I think that's another guy that would just perform incredibly well at a combine. So a couple guys on offense there, I think that I think would really, really test well. You know, on defense right now, I'm sure there's somebody that I need to be saying here right now. Maybe a Dawson Merritt, you know, that really could be a good guy athletically for Nebraska. Again, another guy that's been kind of dinged up. So there's some guys that obviously Nebraska has that I think athletically could really shine in some sort of a combine setting. It's just more like get on the field and get healthy and stay healthy and get to the combine and really show what you got.
Well, a guy that I'm intrigued by, and a guy that, I mean, this is kind of a focus last week, as you heard from some of the defensive coaches talking about stopping the run, getting after the passer. How about Nwaneri?
Nwaneri is interesting because I think he's going to tape out, and, you know, he's going to look a lot like some premier kind of, you know, set the edge anchor kind of guys in the league, you know, like I think that there's some similarity there to him, like an Alden Smith, you know, like back in the day. I think that there's some other guys. He's a little bit longer even than that. I mean, he actually is going to tape out and look great physically. And that probably is a massive oversight by me to not include him, just because he's gonna really touch on all the metrics and the things and all the measurables that they're all looking at. I think Nwaneri is probably going to going to hit on all those things and look incredible as to like what the NFL is looking for.
Well, let's talk a little recruiting as Nebraska looks to get back at it this weekend. Let's just preview what that looks like for them, because it looks like maybe Jeep Wade's bringing some dudes in to talk to improve on some of that class, and a bunch of stars of stars, and how Nebraska can make some cases to get some of these guys and improve on that class and classes further on.
Yeah, and this is going to change a lot, guys. So I just kind of been telling the board over here. So if you're on our site or you're looking at the visitors list, just know there are more guys coming in. I'm going to have previews each morning. So Thursday morning, probably 9-ish or so, we're going to run a preview for the guys I expect to be in town then. Then on Friday, there's some guys that are coming in just for Friday only. Then there's some guys that are coming in 6th, 7th, and 8th that will be there for a longer extended period. So there are a lot of names still here to kind of add, that I'm kind of putting things together and reconfirming things before I run anything. But I think to your point, Coach Wade, I've heard terrific things about him, and how he's connecting with the team, so quickly in his time there in Lincoln. But I think the one part that I think everybody would agree with, he's doing a pretty great job when it comes to recruiting. I mean, he's going to get David Fuller-Runshow to come in on Thursday. He's a 4-star offensive defense. Actually, he's a defensive lineman. He's coming in from Chicago, but Albert Simeon will be there. 5-star interior offensive lineman from Lake Charles, Louisiana. We broke it over here on the site that he was coming in, and I would tell you, I think it was a very significant deal when Matt Rule went out and had a chance to go out and connect with him, when there was a contact period kind of going on. You also have Tyler Kuhn that'll be in there next Tuesday. And that's a guy that I really give a lot of credit to Coach Wade. Kansas City has just still not been an easy place for Nebraska to gain a lot of traction. And I know Coach Mosey is very well known in the area, but I think it's just such a hotbed, and everybody goes to kind of pick at it a little bit. Oregon's in there picking on it, as well as your Kansas States and Missouris and all that good stuff. So I think Kyler is a guy that maybe would have just faded into, not even talking about Nebraska had, there not been this change with Coach Wade. I think it's been that significant because he's really dialed up all the communication with Kyler, and I think that's really paid some strong dividends with him. Obviously you're talking Gus Corsair. He'll be there, in a couple of weeks, and Bryce. And people are kind of wondering about Barrett Cottrell, and Cottrell's on a very good basketball team there in Ashland. And I know that he's definitely dealing with a little bit of his basketball calendar before he can try to get down to Lincoln for any type of visit. But I think Nebraska still has to feel very good about where things are with him. So yeah, there's going to be more guys than what are on the visit list as of right now. That's all I can really tell you. I just need to do a little bit more vetting to kind of get that list kind of bottomed out.
Among these names that we're tracking this spring, Brian, and kind of to combine the last two questions, are there any guys that you have circled as being those freak type athletes that are just special in what they bring to a football field?
Well, I mean, Caden Howard's coming in, and everybody's been talking about Caden Howard and his latest performance at the Miami Rivals Camp Series. He ran a 4.41. I think people are pretty excited about that. I mean, he's from Miami. It's kind of a continuation there a little bit with, trying to stay active and getting guys to look at Nebraska that are down there, that are prominent players down there in Florida, in South Florida too. I mentioned him before, and I'll tell you, it's really the first thing that I saw of him after I saw that he was coming and visit Nebraska. Gus Corsair, offensive lineman from Hays, Kansas. Whoever he's working out with out there, they're really getting the most out of him. And he was doing a workout where he was kind of between these kind of jump boxes is what I would kind of call them, but I think they were more padded than that. And he would literally, it must have been 22, 24 inches, and he's kind of jumping up, and and he's landing 275 pounds, and he's doing it in kind of a split kind of landing across those two boxes, it was very impressive to watch. I mean, the core, the explosiveness, I think that there's a lot to be said about getting some more athleticism there on the offensive line. It's something that stood out to me over watching like the NFL Combine. The offensive lineman was it Malioga from Miami. Incredible athlete. One of those guys that just like you watch him play and then you watch him in the combine and you're like, well, no wonder. Like this guy is just a freak. And I think Nebraska needs more of those guys that are just able to move, super strong, stout, refrigerator box kind of guys. And Corsair is definitely a very good athlete for having that kind of size.
I want to go back. You mentioned the kids that are coming in, but you mentioned some are 1 day, 2 day, there may be 3 day kids coming in. Is that based on their time, a prioritization of the group of kids? Walk us through that a little bit, because I know when you bring a lot of kids in, there's a lot of management on the Nebraska side that goes into hosting kids.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of management associated with that. I think there's like 4 or 5, I think, coming in on Thursday. And then I think that starting on the 6th, that number grows pretty big. And then I think a few of those guys kind of have to leave after Friday. And then I think a few more of those guys are sticking around all weekend long. I don't think it's necessarily as much about priority. You have to take into consideration cost here, because all the cost falls back to the recruit for travel. So it does get a little expensive to spend 3 days in one place. I would have to acknowledge that, having done some of this stuff before in the past. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where, if Nebraska at this point is really one of those top schools for you, this is an amazing opportunity to kind of go there and check it out for 3 days to really figure out like where they sit at on your list. But then for those other guys, whether it's financial, can't do it, or, they're still kind of trying to figure out if Nebraska is another place they want to get to again in the spring, or come back for an official visit in the summer. It could be something just like that, where they're just trying to still kind of vet the process. I think that there's some guys that are a little further down the road. I don't think it really comes down to, well, we're offering you a 1 day visit versus a 3 day visit. I think Nebraska would want to get those guys on campus for as long as they want. Mm-hmm. I really view the weekend that's coming forth as almost like a second junior day in almost like 2 months. I think it's going to be that big of a list for Nebraska.
It's Brian Munson with us here, HuskerOnline.com, as we talk some recruiting. And Brian, I do want to ask you, there was a bit of a weird one over the weekend. I think this was from Friday. Jamari Brown, a super late add to the 2026 recruiting class. I believe he was teammates with Claude and Puma back in high school. Yeah. The timing on this one's a little bit strange. It's a name I hadn't heard. It kind of felt out of the blue. What can you tell me about Brown?
Yeah, so Brown was a teammate of Puma's, did visit Nebraska in the fall, knows Trey Taylor, actually referenced Trey as part of his commitment announcement. He's a wide receiver, I think, that's going to also find a role on special teams, number one. He does a lot of interesting things when it comes to like putting the football in his hand. He's not a blazing guy, but he's a productive dude. I think he's one of the guys I really would be very interested in when you kind of put him into college football structure, how to kind of build them up, letting him see how he kind of progresses. I think if you give him the right tools, the right accessibility to resources, and he just has to put forth the effort, he could really be a massive steal. You have to kind of remember here, even if it was an evaluation offer, in 2024, I think it was, Ole Miss did extend an offer to him. And I think after that, there was a lot of, FCS schools, including Eastern Michigan was one of those schools that had offered him. So I think it's a really interesting get. I think it helps out with Trey in a lot of different ways also, like getting up there, getting a little bit more acclimated, another guy being around Trey during the summer, as he kind of then goes through, Millard South and then kind of gets stuff out, where he's moving over to Lincoln full time in December, January. I think it could help out Nebraska on a number of different fronts.
Yeah, right. What I was thinking about is we're all talking about kids coming in the following year, but when you look at this year coming up, and you look at the kids that were brought in via, a senior in high school being a freshman in Nebraska or the transfer portal, when you look at both sides of the ball from the recruiting side, kids getting to campus this year, who's got the biggest challenge to be better? Is it the offensive side of the ball? Is it the defensive side of the ball? That's it. I've just started thinking because I know we're talking 27, but who's got the biggest challenge? Because you start looking ahead, that schedule coming up, results are going to matter. I think we had this discussion yesterday. Results will matter more than ever this year.
Yeah. I'm going to pick on a couple different things. I'm going to try to follow your question as much as I can and stick to that rule. But I think the defensive line and being a little bit more stout against the run is got to be it's critical to the success of this team next year. They could not get off the field on third down to save their life last year. And it is absolutely necessary. The change that they're making from the odd front to the even front, number one, thought that was a great idea. I think they did bring in some interesting guys. I think it was a better fit when you talk about the 4-3. I think it's a better fit for several guys that were already on the roster. So I think that's going to be very helpful. So I think I'm going to pick on that first. But then I also want to bring up the offensive line.
Yes.
I don't think that, when you had a statue kind of, not necessarily a mobile quarterback, and I want to pick on Dylan that way. I want to bring up the fact that he's just not as mobile, as maybe what you would have liked. I think it exposed in so many different ways, where that defensive line or the offensive line had some flaws. I think it also, brought out, and accentuated where, you had these ideas about how you're going to kind of keep bringing in guys that are injury prone and, and the plan to kind of bring those guys back and put them into those positions and think that's going to get you through the season. And it never did. For 2 years, it didn't do it. So now you're bringing in a new offensive line coach. You've got you're going to have 1, 2, possibly 3 new starters on offensive line next year with the portal guys. So yeah, I think offensive line, you're looking for a lot more consistency. You're looking for ways to kind of get Colandrea a little bit more time to see the field, downfield to make throws. Like you want to give him some running lanes, and give him a chance to kind of get out there. And I think you just want to give him a chance to be creative. And it's all going to start. I mean, people would say with Colandrea's legs, I would tell you it still starts with having a better offensive line, I think, than what Nebraska's had the last 3 years. So I'll say offensive line consistency, and I'll say stopping the run with the defensive line.
I love it. You nailed it. That's where I was taking it down the road. There was perfect. So, well, Brian, we appreciate your time as always, my friend. I figured out what we're going to do tonight. Guys in our age bracket at 10 o'clock, I'll help keep each other accountable. Maybe we got a text string going on to make sure we're still awake.
I love it. And he to kind of go along with all the things we do here with Music Wise, I want to tell you guys right before I got on the air, I just bought my tickets to go see the Eagles.
Ooh, at the Sphere?
So it's gonna be they're coming to Arlington, Texas.
Okay.
They're gonna be at the Texas Rangers Park. But I just heard Don Henley mention that this is probably it. So say no more. I've seen him one time before. I saw him with Glenn before he passed. I saw him one time after he passed with his son and Vince Gill doing it. But I had to make sure that I saw him one more time.
That's awesome. Well, B-Man, we appreciate your time as always, my friend. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you real soon.
Yep, be good, guys. We'll see you.
Brian Munson, HuskerOnline.com. We'll take our final break and come back and do a few stories that we missed. Yeah. It's crazy. We're not going to go till I stay on this show. I just look at it it goes back to your point about losses and where they don't move you this point of the year. I just brought up Joe Lenardi's. He does a bracket watch sheet every day. Yeah, with a loss. Arizona still one. I mean, with a win, there's still that last one. Nothing. Then he gives you little snippets like how important some of these games are tonight. He doesn't even list. It's crazy because it doesn't list the Nebraska game tonight, but it does list Carolina at Clemson at Carolina, a win, and he predicts Carolina a win tonight. They move to the 5 line, off the 6 line to the 5 line. But it doesn't list Nebraska on bracket games.
Really?
Does that tell you that they're a 3?
Yeah. Well, we talked about they'll need help. If they want to get up to the 2 seed line, they'll need help from other teams.
Yep. He also has Auburn, by the way, on that line because Auburn's a hot topic. Here's how he has them listed right now. UCLA last 4 buys team. Last 4 in Indiana, New Mexico.
Okay. New Mexico, Indiana,
First 4 out, Auburn.
Yep.
On that line.
They should be.
And USC next 4 out, but that doesn't mean.
Where's Ohio State?
Ohio State, last 4 in.
Okay.
Line. So teams, that was just over 19 minutes ago he posted that. That's a great tweet. Good partner. This tweet is awesome. Kevin Suits put out a tweet because he's it said, for those unable to watch part of the Nebraska beach volleyball because of streamer or something due to streaming issues, he goes, let me sum it up. Andy Jackson kill, Andy Jackson kill, Andy Jackson kill, Andy Jackson kill. He did it like 8 times.
So I better find a story that must be about 2:45.
Okay, I have one. And it's legit a story that I don't even think we're paying attention to. Because of all the other sports that we're entertaining right now.
We're coming back.
All right. Welcome back in the morning. Hookup special things at HusklerLife.com. Just go and strike. Stories that we usually. Huh?
You get the
Eagles?
here. So this is actually the band.
Oh, the band.
It's all about looking for some place you can rest your head. We need that
Tonight. Yeah, you are well done.
All right.
Well done. Yes.
The stories we missed. The morning hookup.
Well, I know we don't like. Do you know there's baseball coming up Friday?
Like MLB,
the World Baseball Classic.
Oh yeah,
my gosh,
they've done a good job advertising.
No, boy, have you seen? They put out the rotation. They're going to play Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. Look at this starting rotation. Logan Webb will get to start against Brazil. Scuball against Great Britain. Paul Skeens against Mexico, and Nolan McLean against Italy. The World Baseball Classic. Who knew? So, yeah, definitely a story that everybody probably missed.
A quick one here. ESPN has dropped a new mock draft. This one courtesy of Jordan Reed coming out this morning following the combine. Fernando Mendoza stays steady at number 1.
Yeah.
One of the biggest movers we saw, though, they have Sonny Styles going at number 5 to the New York Giants. This is a guy that was on the back end of the first round or second round.
Did you see his combine?
But after that ridiculous combine, he's now up to number 5 in this mock draft, which means he would be the second Ohio State linebacker off the board. They have Arvell Reese going to the Jets at number 2.
Didn't you see? I think he was the one who didn't he vertical 43.5?
Yeah,
and he ran
a 4.43.
That's a linebacker
at what 6'6", 250 pounds.
Come on,
ridiculous. This one also has, I send a lot of Chiefs fans out there, Carnell Tate going at number 9 to the Chiefs, despite his bad 40 time.
Oh,
which I said it last week whenever you were gone. Carnell Tate, he comes from a long line of Ohio State wide receivers, and all those Ohio State wide receivers just have high floors in the NFL.
Yep.
They all come in and produce. Are they all pros? No, but they've all come in and produced and done well.
Yep.
So I'd like that pick for the Chiefs.
Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us on a Tuesday in the morning hookup. Tomorrow we'll be back. We'll be talking Husker hoops. Henry T. Buchanan will join the show and a whole lot more. I guess have a great Tuesday out there. Watch the road. A little slippery out there. But get ready. Get a nap tonight. 10 o'clock tonight in Nebraska. Silly 78-73 Nebraska, by the way. Guys, have a great Tuesday. We'll catch you on a hump day.